Hey everybody, welcome back to the weekly Slimefun update with your host Boomer. I am so happy to be back with you today. There's a lot to cover over these last 2 weeks. A lot of add-ons had updates that hit the builds channel, but we're actually only going to talk about one and two new add-ons. Most of the updates that came out were either minor bug fixes, tweaks, updates to metrics, whatever it happened to be. They weren't really anything that needs to be mentioned to our players. However, I do want to answer one other question that I am getting a lot is, when am I going to cover Galactifun? Well, here's the thing with Galactifun. First, hats off to Sagan, Riley, and all the other devs who came together to make Galactifun what it is. It is a tremendous, very immersive add-on. It's not something that you're going to master in a very short period of time. They did a great job with it. Now, a lot of players have been suggesting new features, changes to the game, updates, whatever it happens to be. And because it's happening so fast that we've literally seen, I believe we're up to like build number 32 already. I don't want to cover something that is evolving so quickly. I want to make sure that when we do cover it and you're able to watch the video, that 2 weeks later, what I present doesn't work the same way anymore. So I'm going to wait until it's pretty close to a much more final version. And then we're going to spend some in-depth time inside of Galactifun learning it. And I guess I would ask, back to those who are wondering when I'm going to cover it, is this. When Minecraft first came out, and there were no YouTubers covering Minecraft, how did you learn? Or how did they learn, right? How did DocM77 or JBL2579 or Green or Mumble, they got into the game and they played. Some people watched other videos, but at the very beginning, there were none. Somebody had to be the first to figure it out. So why not be you? Figure out Galactifun, become the master. All right, having said that, let's move on to Dynatech. You got that right, baby. We got a lot of things to talk about. I am so pumped. One of the biggest changes that happened this week in Dynatech, everybody knows that if you have growth chambers on your base, if the server restarts while a plant is in that spot right there, you lose it. Not anymore. Hats off to Prophets, finally figured out how to get around that. So when your server restarts, if you've got a plant in that chamber, it's going to be there when the server restarts. Awesome. I couldn't be any more thrilled. Great job, Prof. All right. Inside of Dynatech, we have another new block. We're going to look that sucker up right now. It is called the external heater. It says it externally heats furnaces, blast furnaces, and smokers. And there's one other machine it will cover. Now, it does require power, 128 joules per heated block. And it's got a nice little buffer. Let's dive into this. So, it will cover smokers, right? It said smokers. We'll put the smoker in, and we're going to get ourselves some steak. I'm kind of hungry. I could go from some sirloin anyways. It'll work on vanilla furnaces. Why not put some oak logs in there and let's watch it turn into some charcoal, because we want to make some torches later. We're going to have a tiki party. What can I say? All right, here we go. Here comes our charcoal. All right, it'll also cover, like the guide said, blast furnaces. We can take our ores or our tools that are whatever it is that we need to put in here and get it out. And it will cover Slimefun enhanced furnaces, because by default, these are still furnaces or vanilla furnaces. This one just runs at a little bit faster pace than a vanilla furnace. So it covers all four. It will not go vertically though. However, if anybody ever built a super smelter, right? You lay out 20 furnaces, you put hoppers underneath, you got mine carts moving stuff back and forth. Imagine taking this vertically. Take 6 stacks, do a heater, and put 4 furnaces, one on every side, 6 stacks high, put a energy connector in there, put the cargo nodes, take it 6 more high, and repeat. You actually have now a super smelter array that goes vertical, something that we've never seen inside of Minecraft. Something I might work on here very shortly. All right, moving on, we have another update in Dynatech. The suggestion was made and added very quickly. Let me make sure we are powered. The Orchid is going to produce something new. Dun, dun, dun. We now have copper ore. That's right. We now have Slimefun 117 copper ore being generated by the Orchid. And the rates have been updated a little bit to include that. If you want to know what those are, you can go onto the GitHub and look at the code. I'm not going to tell you. Is this a pretty good sampling? Yeah, it's pretty close, but I'll let you look it up for yourself. All right, so we have 2 new updates to talk about. One of them has been officially released, the very first one for a new developer, FNFAL. As a matter of fact, I've known FNFAL from a previous server that we both used to play on that now is unfortunately no longer around. But he has come up with a great new add-on, his very first, and it is called FNFAL 113 Amplifications, and has a lot of different features. I'm not going to do the full tutorial for you today, but we're going to just briefly walk through this. There are 12 different power power creation machines in here, ranging from huge power to, starter power, but they all have huge buffers. Here's how I'm going to classify this add-on. Light expansion meets infinity expansion meets SMG. If those 3 got together and somehow had a baby, this is it. Here's why. So again, we have just for example, there's a lot of different new pieces in here that you're going to have to craft. You can see just by looking at this list, they're all different for the most part. It's a lot of items. The light expansion grind, right? That's here. The infinity expansion buffers and power generations are in here. So you got 12 different possibilities of power generation. You see some of these big ones, we require the previous one plus a lower one. You're going to have to work pretty hard to get there, and some high core Slimefun capacitors. All right, category number 2, the material generators. This is why I say SMG was part of having this baby. It uses the same process. However, this is light expansion meets SMG, meets infinity expansion. A little bit different order because SMG's recipes for those basic materials were pretty basic. These are a little bit more advanced, and so are the recipes. We'll start with the clay generator. To make the broken one is pretty simple. 4 carbon is the most expensive part in here. However, to make the actual generator, you need 2 broken generators and a few other things. What about the next ones, right? We look at warp nylium. 4 carbonatos just to make the broken one, but to make the final one, hey, you need 4 of those, okay? So these aren't going to be cheap. These are going to be light expansion meets the original SMG. What about these diamond generators? Well, to make a diamond generator is 2 diamond blocks, 2 diamonds, 2 synthetic diamonds. But how many of these do we need to make the actual generator? The broken ones, you need 1, 2, 3, plus 4 androids. And we got to put a blast furnace in there just to heat things up a little bit. Emerald generator, same thing. 2 broken and a diamond plus the androids. So we'll let you go through. The one thing I'm curious to see more about is the bone generator, because if you play with Exotic Garden, you need the bones. All right, let's move on. Solar generators. Hey, you know what? If you want to build just solar, you don't want to worry about night, well, these probably might not cost you as much in material and time, but you can see it is going to cost you, okay? This is, again, why I love this. This is a lot. The more time I spend in this, the more I can appreciate how well this is put together. Like I said, it's SMG, light expansion, infinity expansion. The 3 of them somehow had a Slimefun baby, and it's FN amplifications. What else is in here? The different machines, new machines. We have a transformer that allows you to kind of shortcut getting to some different types of equipment. Now, I've gone through a lot of these recipes. I think some of them are very fair. Some of them are very OP. And some of them I think you actually lose material on. So I'm going to send some feedback to FN separately. But you can see some of these. 2 cargo nodes, 2 hoppers gives you 3 cargo nodes. Okay, a little bit different, but there are other ones in here. The guide doesn't quite line up as well, and I'm not quite sure what he's going to be able to do to do that. I know it looks like it's the recipe, then 2, then the recipe, then 2. So we'll see if that's something that he can adjust. We have the compressor. This is where I would call this is OP, and this really does need to be altered. 2 reinforced ingots to 2 reinforced plates. That to me is very OP, and if I would have had that, by all means, I would have taken advantage of it. I think that either needs to be 4 ingots to 1 plate or 8 ingots to 2 plates at the most. I think that could be game breaking in some cases, so that one definitely, in my opinion, needs an overhaul. Same thing here, 2 steel to 3 steel plates. 4 blocks of coal to 12 carbon. 4 blocks of coal is 36 coal. 12 carbon is 96 coal. So, you know, we're really kind of, this one is definitely OP, the compressor. That one definitely, I think, needs an overhaul. The ingot condenser, a 10 karat gold ingot and a 14 karat gold ingot will yield a 24 karat gold ingot, therefore saving you 1 dust. Here's another one. If you don't have nether stars, 3 blistering ingots at 1/3 plus the carbonado will give you 1 blistering ingot. So you do pay a price for some of these. These where I think you lose material. 6 Damascus and 8 compressed to get 1 hardened. I feel there you lose material. So some of these recipes definitely do need to be tweaked a little bit. All right, the recycler. This is something a lot of people have been begging for. You somehow overcrafted 14 million 16 karat gold and an 18 karat gold ingot. Guess what? You can downgrade them back to 16. You'll lose the dust, but all right. And you can see a lot of different things you can recycle back down. And there's a machine downgrader. This is one I can actually use. Because quite often as I'm upgrading stuff, I might have a bunch of tier 3s or tier 2s, and I actually need the tier 1 just to set up an autocrafter. So for me, that's not a bad function. I can probably use that. And then finally, there's also going to be all the materials used here. So you'll see all the different machine parts and pieces and gears and everything else that's needed in order to make all of this. So there's a lot to FN amplifications. Overall, I think it's a great job. Just need some tweaking on some of the inputs and outputs to make it a little bit more balanced. But for your first one, FN, I think you did a phenomenal job. The other one we're going to talk about briefly, I don't have it on here yet because it's only final beta. Sephiroth's been added again. Sephi's about to drop Crystame Historia. The final beta, you can actually download that from the Slimefun Addon Discord server. And if you'd like to test it, give them some feedback. There's a lot of information on that channel to help you understand what it's about, what it does, how to play with it and learn it. And I'm looking forward to doing it. Sorry, Sephi, I haven't got to it yet. Been busy. But anyways, guys, that's what we're covering for this week. I'm still just awed and loving everything that's coming out. These guys, these devs are being very creative, very new, thinking outside the box. And I'm looking forward to some of the other devs have been talking about some new ideas as well behind the scenes. I can't wait, guys. It's going to be so massive. Slimefun is still growing and growing, and I love it. And by the way, when you're playing Slimefun, you got to go Boomer or you got to go home. We'll see you later.